Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Good morning, guys. Hello, Stuart. How are you doing, buddy? All right, so here we are. Thirsty Thursday, the Dallas Cowboys brought in some guys to check out because, as Stephen Jones always says, player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job, and you're always looking to get better. Dennis Houston, who was cut on Monday, was returned to the practice squad yesterday after he cleared waivers. I'm still working on finding out the reasons why they ended up cutting him. I think it's something to do with the player that's on and playing, being put on the practice squad and so on. So I think it's something to do with those rules because they were taking him off the active role so that way they can bring somebody else in. And I'm not sure that you can just, put them right back on practice squad without putting them out on waivers. I don't know for sure, but I'm trying to find that out for you guys so that way we can understand a little bit better. He's brought back on the practice squad, which is great. Hopefully Michael Gallup, along with Jason Peters, have a good week of practice. First practice in the books yesterday. Second practice, of course, today. Then tomorrow's practice. And then, of course, Sunday they have the final walkthrough. And that's when they'll really know on Sunday how much, if at all, Michael Gallup and Jason Peters will play. The Cowboys, it's interesting looking at the rankings and things. And I know all these rankings and stuff really don't mean anything because in the end, football is unpredictable. You can look at somebody and say they're a great prospect. They got the speed, the size, the strength, and everything else. And they end up being a bum in the NFL. And then a guy who's undersized, went to a small school, never played much, becomes a Hall of Famer. That's the great thing about football is it's so unpredictable. And as we look at the Cowboys right now, most rankings have them at highest, I think, 19th to say 22nd. To me, it's kind of amazing because you look at what the defense has done against two great quarterbacks and some great receivers. I mean, we're not talking about us beating, say, the Lions or something, and shout out to the Lions because the Lions are actually playing really, really well. But when you start talking about not Justin Herbert, Tom Brady and Joe Burrow and guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Jamar Chase and shutting those offenses down and holding them under 20, you're doing something and you're going to win a bunch of games, especially against teams that may be offensively challenged. And we're still kind of scratching the surface of what the Dallas Cowboys offense is going to be. I always say, don't get too excited or too upset by what you see in September because things have a way of changing as we get into the season. A lot of guys are just getting into shape right now. A lot of these guys are just having their first action because they're coming back from injuries from the offseason or they didn't play in preseason, and you don't tackle anymore. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get into strides. And for us to have lost our franchise quarterback and to have gone through and beaten a quality team with our backup, changing the game plan, evolving, actually is a good thing because typically what would happen, I think back to 2015 when Tony Romo got injured, we were still running the offense like Tony Romo was still there. They didn't dumb it down for Brandon Wheaton. They were still trying to do Tony Romo things, and Brandon Wheaton couldn't do Tony Romo things. He was still doing Brandon Wheaton things on steroids, basically. They changed what they were doing to fit the offense better with Cooper Rush at the quarterback. And hopefully when Dak does come back, they will continue to do some of those things that they did here that made them successful. Ultimately, this team is going to be better suited being a balanced running team. This is not a sling the ball 50, 60 times a game type of an offense, not with the players that you have. And quite frankly, you're better off with that ball control, high percentage stuff. But that's my own personal opinion. Now, the Cowboys have a bit of a conundrum, which is actually a good conundrum to have right now. Um, Having lost Tyron Smith in the offseason, excuse me, in the training camp, we're fortunate that Tyler Smith got an opportunity to get his feet wet a little bit at tackle before the season got started, that he got the chance to get some work in there. Typically, the problem is you lose a player in the middle of the season, then a guy who hasn't had much practice time gets put into it, and they fail because they're not ready. Tyler Smith, we go by. I don't have the premium like my brother, brother Roz, but according to Pro Football Focus, if you believe their statistics, Tyler Smith has a 69.6 blocking grade as a rookie playing the toughest position on the offensive line, the left tackle. I'm not saying that's Hall of Fame worthy, but for a guy that's only played 2 games, that's pretty good. 1 penalty and 1 sack allowed. You can live with that. That's okay. That's better than anything we've done in the loss of Tyron Smith since 2016, that every year we've lost him. And we've never had a quality person that was able to step in for Tyron Smith. We typically would go downhill big time because Tyron Smith was not there. I feel great about that. And so now the good news is we had lost Connor McGovern, and let's look at Connor McGovern. Connor McGovern's stats, be it he got injured in the first week, 60, not, earth-shattering, but not bad. Not where you say, oh, my God, we got to change up. 60 is not bad, as opposed to Matt Fornick, who's at a 36.9. And clearly right now, that is the weak link on the offensive line. If we can improve that at least to Connor McGovern's numbers, we're great. But that truly is the weak spot. So now the conundrum is you've got Jason Peters. Jason Peters, the future Hall of Famer, the former All-Pro, the guy who played in 15 games last year for the Bears. He is 40 years old. Is what do we do with Jason Peters and or Connor McGovern? Right now you can say, well, Tyler Smith is holding his own at tackle. Do we then go ahead and move him back to guard and then insert Jason Peters? I don't know. I mean, that would truly make that side a lot stronger. I mean, taking a guy who was 67 or 69 or whatever it was from a 36, that's going to improve that side of the line big time and help you run. The question is will there be a drop-off from Jason Peters over Tyler Smith? Or do we just roll the dice and say Tyler Smith was drafted to be Tyron Smith's replacement, and we keep him at tackle because Tyron Smith's not coming back anytime soon? And we're just starting the process sooner than we anticipated and let him become that guy. The thing that worries me is right now you're okay at tackle. You're okay at tackle. You have the problem at guard. You might end up moving him back to guard and then moving in Jason Peters. And now you may have a problem at 2 positions. Because, see, last year when Tyron Smith went out, we said, okay, we're going to take Terrence Steele. We're going to move him over. Then we're going to reinsert Lyle Collins. And Lyle Collins, a lot last year, was kind of like a lot of what Lyle Collins has been thus far this year. We ended up then going backwards on the right tackle, and Terrence Steele was not as good at left tackle as he was at right. So we took having a problem at 1 position, and now we got a problem in 2 positions. You've got Connor McGovern, who is beginning to practice again. We'll see how he is. He may not be ready for Monday night, but he may be ready for the following week. Now, again, I'd rather have a problem of saying we've got some good offensive linemen, which ones do we play, than we don't have any offensive linemen. I'd much rather have this problem of who we're going to have than the reverse of this. Because when you look at the offensive line from the situation that we are right now, from what it was looking like before the season started, the outlook for the offensive line looks a lot better right now than what we were thinking, because we've basically seen over the course of about the last 4 years the Cowboys' offensive line literally fall off a cliff. But right now you start to feel, okay, we still got Zach Martin. He's great. Terrence Steele, after a bad first game, rebounded and played great. Still has not given up a sack. Biotish is playing actually very, very good at center right now. And Tyler Smith, he's not Tyron Smith, but he ain't no Chaz Green. And so you start feeling maybe the offensive line isn't as bad as what was forecasted when we lost Connor Williams and Lyle Collins. That maybe by, say, November, the offensive line should be solidified, figuring out who's going to play and having, a decent backup or two in there. And we could actually be in a position to go on a roll. So we'll see where all that goes. And I just point out these numbers. Shout out to Brother Roz and Pro Football Focus for, allowing me to use these numbers, because it's kind of interesting. To give you an example, though, here's an interesting thing here to let you know how good Tyler Smith has been playing. So let's go back to Tyler Smith's number. 69.6, 25th pick in the draft. Was that where he was? A guy who a lot of people were saying, oh, man, this guy is not good. Cowboy fans didn't want him. The New York Giants get Evan Neal with the 7th pick. Take a look at his numbers. Overall, he's a 44.6. That's not to say that he's not going to be a great offensive lineman. It takes time for guys to develop. You don't get Micah Parsons right out the box very often. But I'll take 25 more points higher, percentage points higher, than what the Giants have right now. And I'm betting with Micah Parsons coming up that number ain't going to get no better this week. So one more final thing here. DMV it kind of went off yesterday. DMV went off about Steve Young's comments that Dak Prescott could learn a lot from Cooper Rush. And they kind of discussed this a little bit on Speak for Yourself. Let's listen in, because Shady McCoy, of course, is the Dallas Cowboy hater extraordinaire. We're going to leave it there. But, it's kind of funny because, the most popular guy on a football team is the backup quarterback. And the moment that there is a bad game from Cooper Rush, he will get thrown under the bus. It is phenomenal to me to think about just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm happy that believe me, Cooper Rush may have just saved our season, because we do not want to start out 0-2. We do not want to start out 0-2. This gives us some hope and gives us a little bit more cushion when Dak does get back and going forward. And at least let you know we can game plan with Cooper Rush. This isn't Ben DiNucci where we're going to have to go ahead and do nothing but get gadget plays. And mind you, we didn't do any gadget plays with Cooper Rush out there, mind you. And we actually ran the ball more, and we actually used more 12 personnel. This may be the moment that actually changes the Cowboys and opens up their eyes, because they were forced to try something different than what they had been doing. And this is very similar to what happened in 2014. Tony Romo could not throw as well as he could before, because he was getting there against San Francisco, coming back from back surgery, and they had to rely on the run. And that running game all of a sudden started picking up and making the team better, and they used that in combination with, of course, Tony Romo. Tony Romo's yards went way down, but statistically, it was his best season. He threw more touchdown passes and less interceptions with less yards. And the team, it thrived. And that is the same formula for this team going forward. And unfortunately, Kellen Moore, when he has Dak out there and when he had CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup, is we're just going to throw the football and we're not going to worry about running. But running is the key to end of your woes, your ups, your downs, your highs, and your lows. So, with that being said, I got a lot of work to do in the workshop, and I can't wait to get out there. You know, I actually wake up in the morning excited. You know, before it's time to get up, you know, it might be 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, of course, being old, got to go to the bathroom and stuff, but I'm already chomping at the bit, you know, figuring out what I'm going to talk about today, looking at the numbers, looking at emails, looking at text messages and stuff, and trying to get all this stuff together, because I literally don't have enough hours in the day. I get so excited, I get so happy, and I got so much drive to try and do so much. And then, of course, tonight we have the Steelers versus the Browns game tonight. We'll get a chance to see what Amari Cooper looks like as well, and get ready for the weekend. Of course, this weekend we've got Carson Wentz going against the Eagles that are high flying and everything else. And of course, Monday night we've got the chance to go ahead and get on the winning side of a season. So with that being said, you know how we roll. It's time to get out of here.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the show for the Sports Report.